teams are going to be pissed off. You know, you don't show up to the stadium planning post-game conversations with your team about losing and about having the finality of the season and about when you're going to meet and all those things. So, you know, it's disappointing because I know that they fight and they compete, and I know that whoever does that again next year for us will do the same thing.
2 years in a row, home game in the playoffs, good setting, and you don't get the quarterback play that's required to win a game. What did you think of what Ryan did?
Well, I don't think Ryan or myself or anybody did enough to win the game. That's how it goes, Paul. It's never going to be about one person, not as long as I'm the head coach, which will be a while. So it'll never be about one person. We have to play better, we have to get open, not fall down. Defense got to get some turnovers, but we can't turn the ball over. We know that. We can't get stopped on down. So those are all the things that we talk about and reasons why you lose. On, you know, our third down conversion wasn't good enough. Our ability to score touchdowns in the red zone, but we all have to play better. We have to coach better.
Mike, when you guys were driving earlier in the fourth, you had a 3rd and 1. Is that a read option play that Ryan has the choice of?
It was a 3rd and 1 play that Ryan has a choice, and we've run a lot of those successfully.
Mike, you mentioned that you didn't have a plan of what you were going to say to your team, thinking that this season was going to be over, but you've always said how proud you are of how you guys have played. But for you, as the head coach of this team, what are you feeling right now?
I'm disappointed for them, you know, because I think that they all believed, obviously, that we would win the game, that we were just getting started, that this was a second season, and that the preparation and everything that we put into it was there. The execution, you know, wasn't, and it's disappointing. But I'll always hurt a lot more for them than I will myself. It's just how I've chosen to do this thing.
When the preparation is there and the execution's not, where do you, when you start to look at it, where do you start?
Not 5 minutes after the game.
Mike, the last pick, was that too risky of a throw by Ryan? Should he have not thrown into that space?
We just didn't make the play.
How surprising you get 9 sacks and that not be good enough to win a game?
Because you guys, last year you talked about all the sacks we didn't have, and you guys somehow think that sacks lead to victories. They're great. We'll talk about how many we had this year, but I like turnovers and interceptions and caused fumbles. So maybe we'll talk, maybe we had too many sacks this year.
With the turnovers, myriad of problems, was it all Tannehill?
No, it's never all, you know, I mean, obviously the guy pulling the trigger, you know, is going to get blamed. You know, I mean, that's just what happens. But, you know, we all have to do a better job of taking care of the football. You know, Ryan, nobody feels worse than Ryan does. And, you know, there was some contact. And we, you know, I mean, on the last one, it's like, where would you want him to put the ball any differently, in a better spot? So, you know, they let him play, and that's how it goes.
As far as the slow start on offense to start the game, what went wrong? Obviously, the first play, the interception, but what
After
went
that,
wrong?
I mean, I thought we had some good plays. We got in some drives and just didn't finish, and then you know, went on the ball, and I felt like that helped. Had too many 3rd and longs, probably.
What was you thinking on the 2-point conversion?
Try to score from a yard.
After 4 long runs, run the ball that entire series, went to throw, and that ball was intercepted. But in hindsight, you wish you saved the run?
In hindsight, I wish we wouldn't have, you know, they wouldn't have intercepted the ball. I mean, you guys make a living out of second guessing. We don't. You know, you guys ought to live that life. It's a lot more interesting life. It's unfortunate. You know what I mean? You call some runs, you call some passes, but to stand here and say, well, if we wouldn't have, or if we only could have, like, we went with the call. Unfortunately, it was intercepted. You know, and it just we just can't live like that. We can't coach like that. You can't play the game like that. You have to get the call, go out, get the check. If the quarterback makes a check, and go play.
Did you telegraph it a little, or did the guy just make a great play?
I mean, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at the film and try to help you out.
did Garrett do today versus what you?
I think he came out okay. I meant there was some, probably some runs he'd like to have back and a lot of, blocking that could be better. But, we did get into a flow, I thought, of running the football, and then they loaded up, and they did a good job. They had some guys that were in there grinding away on the run, and, we know how hard it is to run against, some of those D linemen that they have.
Mike, how disappointing is this loss considering kind of the resiliency that you guys showed all year, the toughness? We know the injured players and all that. Just to,
I mean, anytime you lose, Ben, it's going to be disappointing. I love the way they fight. I embrace the way that they compete and find a way to get us in ball games. Just tonight we were on the wrong side of a tight game.
Will you have a final team meeting tomorrow and how difficult?
No, I don't think that we should rush in there tomorrow. And if anybody wants to leave, they're more than welcome to leave. But we're going to meet on Monday.